is out.
And Giannis is grabbing toward his left knee area.
Oh my, the Eastern Conference Finals may see a gigantic turning point here.
We got to do the little things. We got to turn their pressure against them.
Keeping that pressure on these guys for 48 minutes.
Here's Williams for three. Floats it to the rim, turns and flushes.
We just need to settle in a little bit.
Open three. That's good. It's a 20-point Atlanta lead. Oh my, it's Atlanta's night.
It was one of those nights. Everybody played with confidence.
We were super confident, man. That's what it's all about.
The Hawks blew out the Bucks in Game 4 last night to even the series, doing so without their star Trae Young. Meanwhile, the Bucks may have suffered a bigger loss last night as Giannis Antetokounmpo hobbled off the court with an injured left knee in the third quarter. For more on the two-time MVP status, here's Malika Andrews.
Stephen A., as Adrian Wojnarowski and Zach Lowe reported earlier today, the MRI and imaging on Giannis Antetokounmpo's hyperextended left knee did not show any structural damage. But still, as they reported, there is no timetable for his return. But Mike Budenholzer, the coach of the Bucks, said that this was the best possible news, encouraging news that they could have received given how scary it was in the moment when Giannis went down. Now, he's officially listed as doubtful for Game 5. He hasn't been ruled out yet, but if he is unable to play, look at Bobby Portis as someone they could potentially lean on a little bit more and maybe even start, given the energy and offensive production he has given the Bucks in this series against the Hawks. Again, Giannis has not yet been officially ruled out, but given the swelling in his knee, I'm hearing it would be a little bit surprising to see him out on the court on Thursday. And for more on the Hawks injuries, here's Tim Bontemps.
Thanks, Malika. As the Hawks continue to prepare for Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals here in Milwaukee, the status of superstar guard Trae Young remains uncertain. Young, who missed Atlanta's Game 4 victory with a bone bruise in his right foot and a sprained right ankle, remains questionable for Game 5. Young made the trip to Milwaukee with his teammates and will continue to receive treatment. Hawks coach Nate McMillan said he once again expects Young to be a game-time decision Thursday night. Back to you, Stephen A.
When Chris Middleton has been on the court without Giannis, it spelled trouble for Milwaukee in these playoffs. ESPN's Basketball Power Index gives the Bucks just a 23% chance to win the title if Giannis were to miss the rest of the playoffs. Will Bond and Perk back in the house with yours truly. Depending on the severity, what impact could Giannis' injury have on the rest of this series, Will Bond?
I don't believe Milwaukee can win this series without Giannis being on the court. And I understand how good Middleton and Drew Holiday and Lopez and that cast, that ensemble is. Stephen A., he's a two-time MVP. And they struggle anyway. You know, I've been saying to you every night, we're sitting there watching these games, whether we're watching the Eastern Conference on television and texting each other, talking to each other, what do I tell you? I don't trust Milwaukee. I don't trust them with Giannis. Yeah. So if Giannis is the best player in this series, and he is, with all due respect to Trae Young coming, why would you expect Milwaukee to win without Giannis?
Stay right there, because I'm coming right back to you with a follow-up to that. But Perk, do you agree or disagree with Will Bond on this?
I disagree, and here's why. Because of home court advantage, all right? And the Milwaukee Bucks have the home court advantage. And we all know role players play better at home. And listen, $177 million, $160 million. God damn it, they better get it done. That's Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. They getting paid the big bucks, okay? They have a big three, okay? One of their big three is out. The other two need to step up. And listen, Brook Lopez, I've witnessed him when Giannis has been out. He's been able to give them 20 and 10. Mike Budenholzer is going to have to switch up his offensive game plan and go through Lopez on the low post. I feel like Bobby Portis could give more. I feel like the experience with P.J. Tucker is going to overshadow the youth of the Atlanta Hawks, especially having the home court advantage.
Kendrick Perkins and Will Bond. Will Bond, I'll go over to you first with this question. If the Clippers can win without Kawhi Leonard.
No, you know this doesn't work that way. I knew you were going there.
Why can't Milwaukee win without Giannis?
I'm going to ask you a question. So you ask me a question, I'm going to ask you one.
Sure.
You going to make the case to me that the Milwaukee Bucks are as tough physically and as tough-minded as the L.A. Clippers?
No, I will not make that case with you.
There's your answer.
But I will say this. Trae Young is not 100%.
Right.
And I do agree with Perk, with Middleton, even though he's missed the roller coaster in my eyes. 39 one game, 13 the next, 38 the next, or whatever. They're just roller coasters. Still a home court advantage with those two. And the team as constructed, I do think Milwaukee should be favored to win this series with or without Giannis.
Y'all can talk about should, and by the way, Perk should be flown in if you're Milwaukee, if you're the Bucks. Perk should be flown in to give that assessment that he just gave to their locker room.
Right.
Because Perk can push the buttons that bench is not able to push so far to get them to play that way consistently. I remember being at the Toronto series a couple of years ago. We're talking about the guts of the team. We were there.
I was there with you.
Stephen A., that team is missing something. I'm not entirely certain of what it is. And if they were entirely certain, they would have fixed it. I still don't trust Milwaukee to rally the way you both think. We all three of us think they should. I'm talking about what I see at this point. Atlanta has a belief in itself. The Hawks players do, and that staff. Mm-hmm. They have a belief in their staff that, to me, pushes them above the level we think they should be playing as a neophyte team.
I agree with all of that, but I didn't see that when Middleton was smoking them. In game
but
3, I didn't see it
every
then.
game, Stephen A.
I understand that.
He ain't that kind of star.
All he got to do is do it 2 of the 3. Do it to game 5, mess up in game 6 like you usually do, and then do it again in game 7. That's not plausible. I think he could do that.
That's cold.
It's true.
It is true, but my point is we can't count on this game after game from that ensemble.
Right. Understood.
I got to see it. It's been 2 years in a row that they didn't do it. Now I'm going to give them a third chance to presume that they're going to get this right.
Well, listen, by the way, when you say it's cold, ain't nothing wrong with me doing something cold when it comes to Milwaukee. It's cold there anyway. That's why they got a petition out not wanting me to come to town because they mad I pointed out the cold weather in that city. Damn it, it's cold in Milwaukee, period. But that's the way.
This entire series now, if Giannis were to miss Game 5, he would be the 10th All-Star who has missed a playoff game this postseason. This is ridiculous, right?
I mean, look.
Entering the night, 9 different All-Stars have missed a playoff game, the most in a single postseason in NBA history. And that doesn't even include your boy, Trae Young.
Yeah, because he wasn't technically an All-Star.
Should be. Who missed Game 4 with a foot injury. So no star power. It's just survival of the fittest before his show at the top of the hour. The man never stops working. Stephen A. Smith joining us now on SportsCenter. Stephen A., how will the rash of all-star injuries in the playoffs factor into how we'll view this NBA championship?
Well, it'll be tainted. There's no question about that. If Kawhi Leonard isn't playing, if Chris Paul somehow were to go down, or Devin Booker, Giannis being down, if he doesn't come back, Trae being down, if he doesn't come back, you're going to frown upon that. Look at how we look at the Milwaukee Bucks. We're talking about them going to the NBA Finals, but who in their right mind believes they'd be sitting in this position if Kyrie Irving, the significance of a championship in their minds, but in the viewing public, of course, we're going to remember that.
Okay, you're in L.A. for tonight's Game 6. What's going to be the deciding factor in your mind between the Suns and the Clippers?
Well, I think number one is going to be Paul George and how much help he gets, whether it's from Reggie Jackson or Marcus Morris again. That's number one. And number two, if you're the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, you got to shoot with some degree of more accuracy. But the bigger point is this. How is DeAndre Ayton not getting the ball? I understand the Clippers threw a zone at you to begin the game. But DeAndre Ayton played 36 minutes and took 9 shots. DeMarcus Cousins played 11 minutes and took 12 shots. I mean, let's think about that for a second here. He plays 26 less minutes, and the dude gets 3 more shots than DeAndre Ayton. That's on Chris Paul and Devin Booker. You got to make sure you feed this man. He came into the game shooting 71% from the field. That means he makes almost 3 times, almost 3 shots for every 4 he takes. You have to get him the basketball.
All right, we're going to keep an eye on the big man tonight. SportsCenter with Stephen A. Smith coming your way. Top of the hour, live, right before NBA Countdown, which takes us to Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Appreciate you, Stephen A.